Okay, before we begin, can we really address what's going on at PlayStation right now? Either it's my first theory, they're all on amazing drugs that I should have, or somebody high up the food chain is letting their son fuck about on the internet and upload things to the PlayStation Store. What you're about to see is available on the PS4 for $19.99, and it's fucking real.
Everybody's thinking about me, but I feel alright. Everybody's out again, but I feel alright.
Friends and lovers, welcome to the Jimpressions for Sword of Fortress, the Onomuzim. There we are. Sword of Fortress, the Onomuzim. It's a name? They're all words. There are no colons or anything separate. It's all one running Sword of Fortress, the Onomuzim, all together. I don't know what that means. I do know that this is a Gilson B. Pontes game, though, because his name comes up more times than Hideo fucking Kojima's. So he's all over this. Very proud of what he made. I don't know why. Now, this is footage that is obviously pre-captured, because that's how Jimpressions go, and you'll be delighted to learn that this is a PlayStation 4 experience. Yes, it is January the 10th, at the time of recording. We're 10 days in, and this came out before then, so less than 10 days into 2018, and the PlayStation 4 has delivered us a contender for one of the absolute worst games of the year already, because this is fucking dreck. Now, I have a suspicion that this is made by the same person who did Spear of Destiny, which actually did win an award for one of the shittiest games of 2017 on the Jimquisition. I have my suspicions. The loading screen looks similar to Spear of Destiny. The fact that there's a lot of running around doing nothing, the fact that when/if you do get into a fight, it's like the most bargain basement Dark Souls, like the bargain basement's basement of Dark Souls likes. That's where we're at with this. But interestingly enough, I didn't even get the game to spawn. I didn't get the gameplay to spawn on my first run. You'll see what I mean in a matter of moments. I'm not going to tell you how long those moments are, because I took this first long walk, and I figured to give you an idea of the mind-numbing tedium of this game, that you could take at least the first walk with me. So that's what we're doing here right now. You see a dragon there in the background. The trailer, I showed you a little bit of the trailer at the beginning before I started talking. That's the trailer as it's presented in the game, with all of its compression issues and everything. Terrible looking. But it shows you fighting a dragon. I never get to fight a dragon in my particular run of the game. Again, you'll find out why. We are still walking towards our destination. The game plonked us into this open world. Can you really call it? I mean, I guess you do call it an open world if there's nothing fucking in it. It's just a dead world. It's an open dead world. But anyway, I'm making my way to the one objective that's shown on the cursor bar at the top, which is near where the dragon is. And it takes a very long time. Here we are several minutes in, and nothing's fucking happened. And you'll notice that the character keeps stopping every now and then. I'm sprinting, then I just stop. The game has no health meter, no stamina bar, so I'm sprinting towards the destination, and periodically the character will just walk like this, and then, I'll get him to be able to start running again. And that's how you get about. It's very frustrating, it's very annoying, it feels very stoppy-starty. And in a game that has lots and lots and lots of running, just don't bother with a stamina meter, you cheap fucking prick. Now, this bit confused me at first, because I thought I'd found a landmark called Enemy, because they put a spacebar in the word enemy. It's supposed to say enemy discovered. Now, the interesting thing here, and I can tell you this with hindsight now, I didn't know at the time, but an enemy was supposed to have been discovered. He's supposed to spawn over in the background, but didn't. So I went wandering because no gameplay happened. What's supposed to happen is you go on that weird pillar thing, and a monster appears and becomes the next objective on the compass at the top. No objective, as you can see, is on the compass at the top, and I've sped this up. What you're looking at here is, if I recall correctly, roughly 6 minutes of footage that I've sped up. And again, I'm showing the full... It's not going to run for 6 minutes, obviously I've sped this, I've greatly condensed this. But I wanted to show you at least a slice of what I got up to. There's so much more footage than this, okay? This was 6 minutes compressed. There's... well, just suffice to say, in excess of 6 minutes. I actually get to the end of the map, which we'll show you. I'm very excited about that. At least one of the ends of the map. Obviously, there's a north, south, east, and west. The quest to save the land of Pelamar. That's just an old reference to a children's TV show called Look and Read, which had several different storylines, such as Badger Girl and whatnot. The Dragon's Eye was my particular favourite. That's the one I grew up with. If you're a British kid and you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just trust me, Americans, trust me. I'm being very relevant and pop culture chic. And that's wasted enough time. We are about to go back into the realm of irregular speed as we get to the end of the map. I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't get to the, the edge of the map and fall off it. But as you can see in the background, just a very severe sawed-off chunk there. The world just stops. This, I just thought you'd like to see the beautiful vistas, so many vistas, that's viewable in Sword of Fortress, the Onomuzim. That's just a little fun. They could use that for a trailer if they want. It's better quality footage than the actual video they used for the trailer. Now, I returned to the landmark and jumped back on it, and it triggered this time. And I didn't do anything. I just stood there, and finally what was supposed to happen happened. Here we go. Now, if you remember, or if you want to rewind, when I first went on the landmark, half of this animation seemed to happen, but the dragon thing didn't happen and it didn't complete. I was still a little bit confused here, wondering what the fuck happened, but in a moment I will have discovered that the enemy has appeared. Now on the map we can see an objective, and there off in the distance is some content. Oh yes, we're past the 7-minute mark in this video, and again, maybe 30 or more minutes in of my own actual gameplay time, and I've found content. So, we boldly march on over, well, we stop and start on over there. You've got 2 different choices of weapons, by the way. A sword and bow, which just means you fight with the sword, or a bow and an arrow in your hand, which means you can actually use the bow and arrow. I don't know why that decision was made, but I've locked on, and it's time for some Dark Souls action as we fight Boss Sierra. Here we go. So I'm doing pretty well, I think. Smacking him up. He's reacting to the shots anyway. I say that with some doubt because I'm not sure if this enemy registers damage, and you'll find out why later. But it doesn't seem like I can take many hits. And I don't know what's going on there. There we go, I'm dead. So I get really the health bar of a wet paper towel, and I'll speed you up as we take that long, lonely, several-minute walk back to the landmark. Isn't that fun? So, bit of a letdown. After all that time looking for an enemy, we get a few digs in on it, and then in 1 or 2 hits, just ka-splat, freeze frame, really inelegant game over, and we're thrown right back to the beginning of the game to be told who made it all over again. Again, this is still sped up. It takes a fucking long time to get anywhere. We're on our way back to the landmark, which will, spoiler alert, will trigger properly this time, just to demonstrate that the first time, my very first experience with the game, glitched out so bad that content didn't load. So we skipped a bit and made it to the trigger point where the enemy is discovered, or the Enemy is discovered. Here's the cutscene activating as normal without me doing anything. How nice. Maybe you have to stand on a very specific part of it. I don't know, and I don't fucking care. So, this time, different approach. With Boss Sierra, I'm like, well, I don't want to get up in his face again. So this time, I'm going to go with bow and arrow. And I thought that would be a very good technique. Bear with us while we very slowly make our way over there, doddering along through the long grass that goes right through our fucking character's body, as does several buildings and walls in the game. You can't get any range with the bow and arrow. You can't aim with it. There's no aiming. I looked at the controls, I diddled around with the controls, I tried everything. You can just lock onto an enemy, press the button, and then get very close, which, for a long bow, or I mean that might be a short bow, but either way, I mean by D&D rules I should be getting, what, a range of 60 foot? It's been a couple of years since I played, 60 foot sounds about right. This is more like 4 foot if I'm being generous, but let's speed this up. Is wrong with you? How the hell do you get the reputation of being very strict with your approval process? How have you got that reputation? You've earned it by being very strict, but then you let something like this happen. What the fuck is up your ass, and can I have some? I assume it's up your ass, it gets into your bloodstream quicker. I'm insinuating you're all on drugs again. What, did you think this was going to end any other fucking way?